2. There was a second X-Men movie that got made for the franchise. And it gets equalities. I can't, that's the right word for it. The direction is bland. The story is streamlined. Very few location, very few new elements. It's a straight to DVD sequel, if we want to be honest. This is not a good movie. It's not a bad movie, no, far from it, but it's not good, especially compared to the previous one. Now let's see what we have here. We have some introductory scene. They are in some museum and they are all mutants. And let's say, face it, it's pretty obvious they are all mutants and they're not even hiding. That's kind of a problem, you know. What was the world building until now that wouldn't make this believable? But then, okay. Do we see anything special here? You know, a previous movie, the first X-Men movie, had mutant powers everywhere. Every scene had someone running through the fountain, swimming pool, or whatever, while the others are running on the ground because they are kids and just doing a running competition amongst each other. One of the girl forgets her stuff, goes back, others are out, and she doesn't bother to open the door. She just passes through the wall. The only scene in this second X-Men movie is the school scene. The school scene is great. And we see mutants who are not that great, let's face it. One has a mutant tongue, Toad, Toad in conceptually just got carried over, but the main kid here is the one who never sleeps, but his actual real power is that he can change the channel on the TV by blinking. That's his power. That's actually fantastic. We also get Colossus. Great casting, great muscle builds, and the effect is also absolutely great. It has weight, it has surface, it has everything. It's not just the Silver Surfer bland, no character design crap. And we don't have the name, we just have the obviously the character. The only useful character, by the way, in the whole scene is that Screamer girl who was in the comics almost 50 years old Irish dude, first generation of the X-Men. The comic book accuracy is not that close for everybody. I mean, when the X-Men, the Uncanny X-Men started, the first X-Men comic book, the characters were like 20 something at most, maybe around 18. Here they are like 30. So yeah, and Rogue. Rogue is also 25, was maybe in the comics, and here she is like 15, 17, who knows. By the way, I don't know what happened with Anna Paquin. I thought she's a great actress, but her career went nowhere. especially after she made with Edward Norton and a couple of other great names, uh, the last 48 hours. Anyway, so comic book accuracy, yeah, let's move on. So we have then an attack on the president, and I tell you, I hate Nightcrawler. He should not exist anymore. And especially was bad choice for this movie. He has these teleporting powers and very obviously a mutant. But we have a very obviously mutant character already. Mystic. Who needs another? Nightcrawler is redundant. So, what else is wrong with Nightcrawler? Nightcrawler is a product of the McCarthy era. If you don't know what the McCarthy era was, that was the time where some Christian nationalist, aka fascist, people get high on the USA government and they started hunting communists because of the Cold War. So the communist aspect is that he cannot blend in. He is the commie, symbolically. But he also a great Christian person, very believing. So he is one of us, so he can be trusted despite he looks like a commie. Very Cold War era mentality created this character. I was very glad when he got off from the comics. He's second generation of the X-Men. The third generation was the great part of X-Men, if you ask me, by the way. But anyway, today, a very Christian character. Don't do that. Don't. When fascism is on the rise and now they sit in the government everywhere on the globe and doing terrible things. No. We don't want Nightcrawler. Move on. Please don't. There is occasionally bumping into Magneto, and after the school scene, we get spend a brief moment at Iceman's family. Then there we have some problem, like, you know, there are the cops and aiming at everybody, and one trigger happy cop already shot down Wolverine. Headshot, boom, kill. Then Pyro starts his stuff. Fireball this way, fireball that way, fireball that way, fireball everywhere. Why he wasn't got shot? A second ago, Wolverine just got shot down, pulling in the clothes. What's it, Pyro? He spent ages shooting those fireballs. Back to Nightcrawler. He says he cannot teleport where he cannot see. Then they are on the airplane which is just crashing down. And Rogue is just flew off the plane because, it's sucked out. There is a big hole on the plane, amongst other problems. And Nightcrawler just teleports through the plane, who knows where she is, grabs her anyway, first try, hops back into the plane. How? Even if, get into the train. plane. We don't care that it is moving. We see the interior and we aim for the interior. That's an okay concept. Still, you have to teleport out, get to the girl, teleport back above the hole, have very good reflexes to get back. Or, grab the edge of it and crawl in. That never happened. We have a problem. You set up a rule and you already broke it. And this is the second time. And we spend an awful lot of time at the end of the movie in that empty military base. Well, that's boring. And as we don't spend much time in the school, with all the kids around and all that kind of stuff, it's boring. No new character, boring. And the military base. We learned that all the controls are in the heavily fortified room. Why isn't the room closed all the time? And can be going through an airlock? There is no reason, aside that, Mystique has to get in to open the front door. That's cheap. And just there is this, the head honcho, the villain, has this bodyguard, Yuriko mutant. She has the same powers as Wolverine, this regeneration, and she has also adamantium implants on the bones. The only difference is that she doesn't have clothes, she has nails. I somehow think the clothes is a better idea, but whatever. Who is she? No idea. She obviously doesn't work here from her free will, because we see that scene when she gets injected by the mutant Jews, the mind control Jews, and then she just dies. She's a bioprop. In the comics, I know she's a big deal. It's martial artist, cyborg, fucking big nails, whatever. She does cool shit in the comics. She's a bioprop. And not even like Toad or Sabretooth. She literally does nothing. Talking about the mind-controlling mutant. So he has this power and doing, and he's obviously unredeemable. But they don't even try to save him. The heroes should at least try. Luke dragged Darth Vader's body to his ship. Because he was the hero. That makes him the hero. What's up with this guy? He just let die. He wasn't even evil. He was just unredeemable. Too far surgically altered and brainwashed and whatever. But still, at least break his neck or something. I have more problems with him related to Charles Xavier and his past relation with the villain of this movie. But let me see if there is something other. Yeah, and this all relates to also Jean Grey's fate. But let's talk first Jean Grey. So we learn that she commits suicide Wolverine and Professor X, they tell us that she could have been on the plane and do the same shit. She chose suicide. You should think about this. Why? What was she trying to avoid? They don't tell us. We will see in the next movie. I mean, first I will watch, I think, Wolverine Origins, but you know what I mean. And she obviously, her powers go exponentially, so that should be suspicious. And don't go there. So we learned that the villain of the movie, Swiper, whoever the guy was, Swiper, no swiping. He brought this mind-controlling mutant to Xavier to do something with her. And we learned that he was in the school. But Xavier, after a while, so he didn't get instant rejection. He spent time in the school. Xavier sent him home. Why? We learned that at home, he started mind controlling his parents for what her mother committed suicide. She should have killed the cause of the problem, not herself, but whatever. That's just me. It's her decision. I understand why she did that and not her sibling. I mean, child, not sibling. Sibling is the brother or sister, yeah. I'm sorry. And we learned from Magneto that Charles Xavier lies. He lied about, that's all I know about your past, to Wolverine. Charles Xavier is a liar. But how did Charles Xavier, Mr. Professor X, not called it that in the movie, send home a very dangerous mutant who did not control his own power, who meant danger to society? You guessed already? I tell you, because he couldn't control him. That's it. This is kind of a spoiler for the third movie, but he likes to brainwash people without their consent, and he could not do that with this one. So he just sent him away. Let it be someone else's problem. He is not a good person. And the end of the movie. Jean Grey obviously rises as the Phoenix. We see the silhouette in the water. And the emotional high point is in the movie is supposed to be that Jean Grey dies. That was a huge mistake. Because anyone who has the slightest idea of Jean Grey in the comics, she's the Phoenix. Crap. Even those who didn't read comic books knew that Jean Grey was the Phoenix. That's why she doesn't have a hero name, mutant name. So emotional peak is big pile of nothing, because we know she will come back. Who wrote this movie? Who approved this movie? Why was it directed this way? Because this is crap. I mean, it works as a continuation, sure. This Sokovia Accord mutant registration bill came up again because this guy made a mutant attack the president, the false flag operation, like this week that Australian group attacked the Jewish community. They were IDF hirelings, associates, corporation, whatever. And you know what? The motivation of the villain, again, this is not the MCU, but the same problem. It's not the problem that it's a wishy-washy, not thought through, and various versions remained in the script. Nah. It's this guy had a mutant child who couldn't be cured from being a mutant, so he now wants to commit genocide. That escalated quickly. That really got out of hand, as the meme says. How did we jump from a mutant kid who cannot be not mutant to let's kill all the mutants? I have no idea. It baffles me that something like that is in a Hollywood script. This is just stupid. Anyway, meet you next time.